Gear down.
Intercom check.
Loud and clear. How's it on my end?
Loud and clear.
Excellent. I shall now serenade you. Alright, gonna use the stored heading line for our navigation here and hope for the best.
Machine, turn off the ground power.
Copy.
007 head.
Ground power is now off.
781 or 942. And information Lima. This is Nellis AFB information Lima. Runway in use is 03. Line 051 at 3 knots. Chief, disconnect ground air supply.
Copy. Ground air supply is now disconnected.
Did we get the altimeter setting from that?
Temperature 11.3 Celsius. Altimeter 2975. Traffic frequency
2975.
Remarks 1007 hectopascal. QFE 2781 or 942. And information Lima. This is Nellis AFB information Lima.
I'm half tempted to cheat and throw in a lantern pod.
Oh boy.
Request rearming.
Copy.
Looks like our line is stuck.
Don't forget to set the transponder 4323 for me. Should we be in a Discord channel actually too?
Rearming complete.
Alright, for comms, we'll use 249.8.
249.8, got it.
Alright, okay, 1 second.
And Callan, you got a control tonight, or are you flying?
Let's see. So, I was thinking since Sensei was gonna hop along, I would probably try something a little different and go in the backseat with Stall.
Okay, copy.
That said, Sensei doesn't seem to be here.
That's alright, I can control. And just confirm, we are up, you guys are up on the NTTR server, right?
Yep.
Copy. Hawaiian, any idea? So I'm not seeing you guys on the F10 map. Has something been changed with the Game Master mode?
I don't think so.
My bad, I'm back with you.
Yeah, I see that you're already airborne.
No worries.
I see that
I
you're
think TAC
in
channel
the,
that we'll be using is
Alamo
294.8.
corridor, but on DCS F10 map, you're not
Do you
visible.
want me to set that on mine?
Yeah. Then you can pretty much keep
That's
it on there,
alright.
and I'll
I got lot ATC up, and I
play
can
around
still
with
generate some of the
radio back here
aircraft.
for the other stuff.
Yeah, so
Sounds
the aircraft are flagged to not show up on the F10 map.
Even as a game controller, because before when I was game controller, I could see everything.
On this map?
Yeah, because we've done AICs on this map before.
Yep, they must have changed that in a recent patch then.
And what was the TAC channel again?
257.0.
Well, I got that one completely wrong. 257.0.
Alright, so right now I'm only seeing Hawaiian that's airborne, is that correct?
Say again.
TAC channel is actually 257.0. Somehow I got it completely wrong. And yeah, that's right. Looks like Drav is waiting for Stall and I here.
Copy.
FNA, are you gonna be flying?
Yeah, I'm jumping in now.
Double.
Alright.
Make sure your oxygen's on, by the way. Also, quick
FNA stall, how's it going tonight?
transponder check. Pretty good, man. How about you?
Going alright.
I just realized my Discord was on the wrong headset, so fixed it. So sorry if you were talking to me earlier.
Oh, it's alright. It's
Yep,
been
transponder
a
set
long
on my
work
end.
week for me. So I'm on a week on, week off rotation right now. So what I have to try to do is I have to plus up my hours during the work week that I'm on shift, so that I don't have to work as much during my off week.
Sounds more like a distribution thing than a 1 week on, 1 week
Yeah.
off. I feel like a nagging wife, but you heard me about the transponder, right?
Yeah, transponder should be good to go. 4323.
Yeah, I'm not showing a mode 3 transmitting on the SRS overlay. Maybe it's a bug. We can confirm with Fah if it is.
Radio check on TAC.
Stal has you loud and clear.
Got you loud and clear as well.
Yeah, say tech freak.
257. That's it.
Yep, 257.
We good to roll?
Yep.
Actually, real quick, I'm going to get us some gas just because that bingo light pisses me off.
Loud and clear.
Fair enough.
Request refueling. Request rearming.
Wait, what the hell is going on with alignment?
All right, Fah, you want to do any kind of brief, or you just want to jump right into it?
Stahl, have you done this with us before?
Negative.
Okay, so I'll just do a quick admin brief here, kind of go over through some of the procedures here. So Stahl, so you and Ann Callan are going to be in the aircraft together.
Correct.
All right, and then Drav and I got FNA. You guys are flying as well. And KS is just observing. Is that correct?
Yep.
KS is just observing.
Copy. Hawaiian, what's your role? Are you observing / flying along, or are you gonna actually be part of the division?
I'm probably just going to be an instructor, but I can do whatever you need.
I bet
All
10
right. Well,
bucks you don't remember
I'll
that
tell you what.
altimeter
You
setting.
can just tag along as the instructor. What we've done before. So with that being said,
2975.
all right. So let me ask
And we're just
Stahl
having
or
to realign
FNA.
here.
Have you guys
Stand by.
ever done anything with AICs before? Have you ever done anything with leading a section or a division of aircraft?
This is FNA. I haven't.
Style, short of like reading about it and watching some videos, no.
Okay.
I'm the
all right.
same. I haven't either.
Okay. All right. So then here's what we'll do. So, Ann Callan, I know you've done this before, so you've got a little bit of experience, and so you can kind of help from the back, which that's ultimately what we'll be doing as NFOs from the back anyway, is kind of helping out with all that stuff. So Stahl and Ann Callan, you guys will be the division lead for call signs. Let's just go with Colt 1 through 3 tonight. So Stahl and Ann Callan, you'll be Colt 1. Go ahead and you'll be sides 301.
Hey, Fah, did you see what I wrote earlier today in the AIC training channel?
I did not. I came in, ate dinner, and then came right up here. I haven't checked it out yet.
Check AIC training. I posted at 7:35 a.m. this morning. 6:35 your time.
Look at now.
Request rearming.
That doesn't change our side number anyway. Did you just restart that alignment?
Yeah, yep. It got stuck. I think the
Alright, copy.
stored heading kind of was messing it up.
Alright, so I'll read through some of the stuff for some of the training objectives tonight. So we're gonna do this as like we've done this the AIC sessions before.
That's
in the
better.
past, So you guys that have not done this before, it's going to be new to you. So first of all, no ammo, meaning no missiles or anything.
Ready
You're
to
going to be
taxi.
guns only tonight. No radar, no use of the radar. So your only sensors are going to be the eyeballs looking outside of the cockpit to get visuals on there. All right. So the purpose of that is to not rely on your sensors to get you into merge, but more of to listen to the comms, understand the comms, and using your eyeballs to get into the merge and to get good VIDs on the aircraft that you're being vectored to. So what we're going to be doing tonight, so you're going to hear bullseye calls. It's going to be up to you within your career birds. How do you interpret those calls? How do you read that on your essay pages and things like that to get the coordination, coordination between the what's being called and what you're seeing on your sensor pages and things like that. So we'll go through some of the check-in procedures. Once you guys get airborne, we'll go through and do an alpha check. So essentially an alpha check. So when you check in, so Stahl, you and Callan, you'll be the lead there for the division for the Colt flight. So you'll check in, Magic checking in, checking in, alpha check, and then you'll give your call from bullseye. And then you will give a status call as far as to how many aircraft you got into your division. I've got 3 by F-18s with the X loadout and things like that. And then as Magic, so my job is to correlate your position off of alpha,
somewhere in the range.
Bullseye call to correlate those alpha calls. So we'll start it off pretty easy tonight. We'll start off with single groups, get you into the merges there. Everything will be bogeys, which means you do not have authorization to fire anything. So everything's going to be bogey. That means you've got to work your merge mechanics to get into the merge to actually get VIDs on the aircraft and then pass that information back to me as the controller. Part of all of that will go into the ROE. So ROE for tonight is going to be pretty much a restrictive ROE. Like I said, everything's going to be bogey. And then once you get in there, once I get a good identification from you guys, I may ask for some information. So things that you'll be passing up to me is going to be talking about what type of aircraft. You're going to be passing up a wing status call. Wing status means if that's going to be air to air, if it's going to be an air to surface, because that's going to drive the ROE type of functionality. I may vector you into a comm air because sometimes if somebody's not squawking. So you just got to practice your good ROE, good VIDs, and pass that information back to me as the controller. And again, if I tell you to escort, then that's what you're going to have to do until I give you clearance to either break it off or I will declare the guy hostile. And at that point, you get to shoot the guy down. But again, you have to hear the word hostile come from me, from myself, call sign Magic as the controller there before you are authorized to engage any of those guys. All right, so for Stahl and for Callan there, so part of your objectives tonight is going to be good section or division tactics there. How are you going to direct your guys to go in? So are you going to offset one? Are you going to offset north, south, east, west? Are you going to split your division up to one guy to go in to get the lead group and trail group? So that's over to you to start working your interaction and communications between your division and how you're going to actually prosecute this target. If you're going in for a single group, who's going to be the eyeball, who's going to be the shooter. So you got to pass all that information out and make those decisions.
Hey, Fah.
Yeah, go ahead.
They don't have any idea about that. They haven't even started section tactics yet. So all they know how to do in operating as more than one person is fly basic formation flying. They don't even know TAC.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So, I mean, they can fly together in basic formations, but after that, they're a bunch of individuals.
Gotcha.
We're going to give it a whirl, though.
Hey, give it a, yeah. All right, without doing all that stuff, so if you're going into a merge and you're going to get a VID tactics, you set up an eyeball and you set up a shooter. Somebody's got to get the VID on it. You got to get somebody offset so that they're in position to fire on that guy if the declaration comes out that it's hostile. But again, we won't worry about any of those things. Things about the merge mechanics, obviously you don't go blowing straight into the guy because you're going to have to do a little bit of offset, and then you have to pitch in on the guy to come in behind them off their 6 o'clock to get the good VIDs and things like that. Just try to exercise that as best as you possibly can. And like I said, no missiles on your aircraft tonight. You're only going to have guns that are out there tonight. No radar. Everything's going to be off your eyeballs only. All right, bullseye. It should be in the jet, which I think correlates to waypoint 1 in your birds there. So the call sign for the bullseye will be bull. We've already talked about the control frequency. So your primary control frequency that you will talk to me on as magic will be 249.8. Your attack frequency 257.0. That is reserved for you as a division to talk amongst your division how you're going to prosecute the target and direct each one of your assets as necessary. All right, things to note about this NTTR range. So when we set all this up, we try to do it as close to real world as possible. So you are going to have comm air that's flying over the NTTR range. That happens real world. Your range restrictions are 30,000 feet and below. So if you're out there and you get a radar contact and you see that he's above 30,000 feet, probably good odds that that guy's going to be comm air. That all goes into, it needs to build into your SA out there. So just be aware of that. 30,000 feet and below, that's going to be your altitude restrictions for the airspace here. Real world, if you bust those airspaces, you get flight violated. And been out there, done that. I haven't gotten flight violated, but I've seen it done before. So adhere to the altitude blocks that are out there.
Quick question. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Just because I want to make sure to expedite this. We are, I think, ready to roll. And are we waiting on FNA, or should we start rolling? And if so, where would you like us to start going to?
Okay. Are you guys familiar with the NTTR range?
Yes.
All right, so you're going to go ahead and take off. Essentially, you're going to marshal and you're going to rendezvous in the Alamo corridor, which that's the corridor that's just to the west of the Sally corridor. Do you know where that?
Yes.
Okay, yep. So that's going to be your rendezvous point. Then just establish a north-south holding pattern there within the Alamo the Alamo corridor. The other thing to note about this range is you've got the Groom Lake area, or the box, that is off limits. If you do decide to wander into that airspace, you will get met with some SAM launches and things like that. So just be aware of that. You've got to maintain your standoff from Groom Lake.
Stalls FNA, I'm holding short of 03 left. I think I can see you in the parking area.
And one quick question from me. What radio frequencies do you want us on? I've got 249, and I've got another one as well.
You should have
maybe it's grab.
249.8, and sort of what's that going to be? Is that to talk to Magic?
So 249.8, that is the Blue Air Common, or what we're going to use it for tonight is going to be the AIC Common. That's where that's where Colt will talk to Magic and pass the information back and forth. Your 257.0, that's your TAC 1 frequency. That's for the communications within your division.
Got it.
All right, FNA, and be aware, I think you're dual transmitting on Discord as well. But yeah, we'll get rolling. I guess Drav's airborne.
Hawaiian, are you not flying anymore?
On this channel?
I'm down buzzing over Nellis trying to get these guys off the ground.
Gotcha.
Yeah, can I have that TAC frequency just one more time? Is it 264.0?
Negative 257.0.
257.0.
Nellis traffic, Colt 1, flight of 1 F-14, 1 F-18, taxiing to active runway, Nellis traffic.
Lucy 1-1. Clear to taxi to runway 3. Path 2.
All right, as you guys are taking off, so Colt 1, like I said, it's going to be Stahl and Callan in a bird together. FNA, you'll be Colt 2, and then Drav, you'll be Colt 3.
Colt 3.
What's up, Osup?
Well, I made it here.
Cool. Are you flying as well?
I am not. I'm on the road. Just got to a hotel.
Okay, copy. So you just kind of following along, listening up?
Yep. Yeah, however I can help out and learn.
Awesome.
He's flying the TDY hotel desk. He's thinking about getting into the controller section because of that.
Yep. So Osup, are you So if I go live on this like we did last time, are you going to be able to see?
Yeah, I can follow along.
All right, I'll stream my stuff.
Jeff, are you on this channel now?
Yep, on this channel.
All right, FNA, you ready to go?
He's doing the smoke show for us.
Ready.
Now it's traffic, Colt 1,
Can somebody give
position
me
and
that,
hold, runway
that second
3 right.
UHF channel he gave? Airtime, that is 249.8. That's Blue Air Common. 249.8, thanks.
Uzi 1-1. You are cleared for takeoff when ready.
Uh,
Climb 300 at QFE 27
Sal, what interval do you want to do?
All right.
We'll do 5-second interval.
Unable to clear for takeoff.
5-second interval, 3.
All right, hold on. I'm confused now. So, which one of you is on the runway with me right now?
Drive 3.
All right, FNA, where are you?
He's over there. He's just behind us.
Behind you.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna scoot up a little bit more to give you some room.
Enfield 5-1. Unable to clear for takeoff.
All right, just check in when you're ready to roll. Quick check. Flaps.
3's ready.
Wings. Should be good.
2's ready.
Yep, flaps are down.
All right, run it up. Brakes off in 3, 2, 1. One's rolling.
Three's rolling.
Once airborne, I'm gonna roll left to
Uzi
get up with
1-1.
Hawaiian.
Unable to clear for takeoff. Enfield 5-1. Unable to clear for
100
takeoff.
knots, 110, 120, 130, 140,
Unable to clear for takeoff.
150.
Enfield
Airborne,
5-1.
positive
Unable
rate
to
of
clear for
climb.
takeoff. Uzi 1-1. Unable to clear for takeoff.
Colt 1 flight, be aware of traffic on our 12 o'clock.
Uzi 1-1. You are cleared for takeoff when ready.
Flaps are up.
Climb 300 at QFE 27.83.
Now it's traffic. Colt 1, flight of 3 departing to the east. Now it's traffic. Hawaiian, do you want us to form up on you?
If you don't know where you're going, you can follow me.
Alright, while you guys are ingressing, F-18 guys down by your
Waypoint 1 is the
right
holding
hand, there's a
waypoint you
radar
said.
knob. Just go ahead and turn that radar to standby. F-14 guys, just shut down your radar. Any of the F-18 guys not get their bullseye programmed in as their air-to-air waypoint sound.
Got it. That's got it.
Got it. part of your bullseye air-to-air waypoint, the two screens you're going to want to have up is your situational awareness page and your attack radar page, even though your radar is not active.
Yeah, I don't think he gives a shit about that waypoint or mark I said, but thanks.
FNA, are you with us?
Yep, I'm behind you.
Okay, stepping up to Mach 0 point. Your loitering here should be about Mach 0.8 and Mach 0.9 in that range. When you turn to commit, you're going to want to be at Mach 0.9.
Just to confirm, he said 0.9 to commit, correct?
That's right.
Mountain range that I'm flying over now essentially marks the southern point of the Alamo Corridor. Mountain range to the east marks the east part of that Alamo Corridor. And there's kind of a disjointed mountain range to the west. That's the west side of the Alamo Corridor. The basin on my nose essentially is the middle of the Alamo Corridor. Alright, your combat air patrols are racetrack shaped, so the Alamo Corridor here is oriented north-south, so your racetracks will essentially be north-south. You'll have a hot leg to the north. Typically it's going to be on your east side because you're going to be in a left-hand orbit. As you get to the northern part of the Alamo Corridor, you'll make a left-hand turn to the cold leg of the cap orbit heading south.
Help me out real quick. I'm having a hard time finding the switch to get the RWR scope, the small one, turned off.
Turned off?
OFF.
It's gonna be right in front of your stick. There's a row of buttons. They're hard to see, but you should be able to click them. And who just shot out in front of me? Oh, I'm sorry. You're in an F-14. RWR, I don't know if you try your gesture menu. That's about the only way I can think to shut off the RWR.
Okay, we're about halfway down the Alamo Corridor here, so the same distance behind you, we see those mountain peaks, same distance to be in front.
Yeah, my nav grid is acting up, like it's going to a different
See
waypoint.
a couple lakes at about your 12:30 or 1 o'clock. That farthest lake essentially demarks the end of the Alamo range. Or correction, the Alamo Corridor.
I think our alignment might be borked.
Alright, who questions about getting their jet and equipment set up for what we're about to do?
Colt 1-1, we might have an issue with our alignment. Unclear at this point, just be advised.
Alright, these two big lakes now at about your 1 or 2 o'clock, so again, that northernmost lake essentially marks the northern part of the Alamo Corridor.
You can still hear me, right?
So about when this lake...
Well, our alignment is
on
actually
your
pretty good here.
3 o'clock, you'll start a left-hand turn to make that 180-degree turn to be on the southward leg of this cap orbit.
Rolling left. 3, 2, 1, roll.
So with the magnetic variation in the winds today, you're going to roll out about heading 165 or so.
Is FNA 2 or 3?
Again, that big empty basin in front of you all.
Should be 3 based on
Okay,
how we
let's call
aligned
for
on
equipment
the
throttles
runway.
before we go over the brief on how to check.
Stand by.
Basically, I'm trying to figure out who the fuck's out way far in front. I need to
Okay,
get them
so
back.
your orbit speed about Mach 0.8. Good orbit altitude for today is probably about 18,000. You can go up to 20,000, I suppose. Your check-in with Magic is going to be, of course, on the AIC radio frequency, which you're going to check in, of course, our basic radio format from Cadet Level 0. Magic Colt 1 checking in with you. Alpha check you can give for those that have it. Our Bull's location right now is 117-103. So 117 is the magnetic bearing from Bullseye, and 103 is our distance in nautical miles. Altitude's 18,000, and can check in with what kind of weapons you have. Really all you've got is gun. What questions do you have on the check-in basic?
And I'm assuming that's you, right?
Ryan, I'm seeing my bullseye is 30.1 distance, is that correct?
Yeah, the nav grid does not want to behave. I don't know what it's doing.
Oh, yeah, correct. I'm reading the wrong part of the screen. Yeah, our Bulls is 122.30.
Good stuff. Ryan, just a quick question on that. Is there an easy way to get this bearing from Bulls? Because again, I see 2082 Bulls, but is there an easy way to get from?
FNA, we're passing right over you. Be aware.
So this is all the Cadet Level 2 reciprocal headings.
Okay, so you're just working it out, that's fine.
Alright, one final overview of the check-in Magic. This is Colt 1-1 checking in with you. Alpha check. Bulls 131, well really 130, 38, 18,000. Full, whatever you got, 400, 500 rounds of guns. No heaters, no missiles or any kind. What do you have for us? That's essentially the call. Any last minute questions on the check-in?
The only thing I'll throw in there before everybody kicks over we start doing this, everybody please mute your mics on Discord.
Yep, we'll do it now.
Starting at... And again, you roll out heading about 345.
Magic Colt 1, flight of 2 F-14s, 1 F-18. Alpha check, bull 130, 38, 18,000.
Colt Magic, got you loud and clear. Good Alpha check.
That's good.
Colt Magic, say loadout.
I'm gonna slide back and form on.
Magic Colt 1, mostly guns. Colt 1 is equipped with IR missiles.
Oh, you fucking narc.
Magic.
He's got to know.
That's true.
Magic, picture's clean.
Colt 1.
He's telling you there's no contact. As soon as he gets a contact, he'll be in broadcast control, giving you information on where that group is with respect to bulls. Information going to come across with bull's direction, distance, altitude, and some track, typically southwest, north, something like that.
Magic, picture's clean.
Alright, flight, making a turn for racetrack orbit left in 3, 2, 1.
Magic, single groupable 063, 80, 16,000, track southwest, bogey.
Alright, start caging your mind to where that is.
Alright, so that guy is kind of going to be to the northeast, or, well, not northeast, but northeast-ish.
Just tell me a heading you want me to...
Magic, single groupable 063, 76, 16,000, track southwest, bogey.
Go 1. Alright, so what he'll want to do is probably get us pointing towards that area. So basically we're looking at probably from where we are a bearing of 070. So you'll probably want to get us going in that direction.
I would say like it's bearing of probably 0.4 from us.
Yeah, we worked out 070.
So I'm just estimating with my wonky avionics.
Groupable 064, 70, 16,000, track southwest.
Alright. Well, let's just do
So
something.
get the flight pointing in the direction you want them to go to.
And the consensus is 070?
Alright, that group's going to be about 045 from us.
Yep.
045.
Single groupable 064, 68, 16,000,
Flight make
track
heading
southwest,
045.
bogey, recommend Colt commit.
Alright, are we committing, Chief?
Targets, you're going to want to inform Magic that you're committing to this group.
Magic Colt 1, commit.
Colt, single group hot.
Aspect call has changed to be relative to you. He's accounted that you are committing to this group. Step up your speed to Mach 0.9.
1.
Colt, single group bra 035, 48, 16,000, hot, bogey.
Colt 1.
Looks like my SRS has crashed.
Should be able to reconnect.
Yep, just working on that now. Alright, can you hear me?
Yep.
Alright, I'm back in.
Single group bra 030 37 16,000 hot bogey.
Alright, so that's the bra call now,
Colt
so
one.
they're within a certain amount of range.
Keep sliding left, so you probably want heading 025.
Got one.
Colt, single group bra 025 30 16,000 flank southwest bogey.
He's also slightly below us.
Alright, he's sliding left even faster. You probably want something like 010 or 36.
One.
Magic is giving you his
Single group
immediate position
bra
on where he's going.
015 24 16,000 flank southwest bogey. Recommend cutoff vector 350.
Alright, so that's the recommended cutoff vector.
Got one. Oh, shit. 350 is in left. I'm an idiot.
Yep.
Colt 1,
Just let the flight know what you're doing.
335.
Cool. 335.
Colt, single group bra 360 14 16,000 beam southwest hostile. Correction, bogey.
Just keep that speed up at Mach 0.9.
Colt, single group bra 3508 16,000 beam southwest bogey.
Alright, I can see him now.
Bogey group's tracking southwest, is going to be crossing right to left.
Yeah, bogey in sight. Got one.
Report that to Magic Colt. Tally.
Magic.
Handle the merge to swing in behind him on his 6 as close as possible and snuggle up right behind him and underneath.
One.
Contact didn't react, so we're going to try to get into his blind spot and sneak up right underneath.
One.
This is Cadet Level 3 merge mechanic.
Alright, what do we got, Chief?
Looks like a backfire.
Magic Colt, looks like a backfire. Stand by for wing state.
Magic.
It doesn't have wing state, does it?
I think it does.
No, it does not.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, we know these guys. We know these guys well. See if you can get a livery.
Alright,
Colt,
I'll swing
continued
up to the right.
escort.
Colt.
Can almost see the tail.
Magic Colt, tail has stars on it. Looks like a backfire.
Magic. Colt, continued escort.
Call that contact maneuver. He can't.
Magic Colt, targets maneuvering.
Magic. Colt, continued escort monitor.
Colt 1. Colt 1 Magic, Magic Colt 1 burners came on briefly.
Magic.
Port new heading.
080. Or did you want me to report that to them?
Yeah, sorry, I'm doing my best not to overshoot.
Okay.
Texaco, 1-1, field, 5-1, request rejoin.
Report the climb to Magic.
Magic Colt, contact is climbing.
Magic.
Burners are back on.
And Colt, just be aware, watch the airspace restriction.
Is he talking about 30,000 feet or Grim Lake?
We're heading towards the east now, so let me just check that. Damn, you know what? I don't have the range, as it were.
Yeah, we look like we're okay. It's just altitude.
Hey, Colt for Magic, getting confirmation from higher C2 here. Single groups declared hostile.
Cool. Texaco, 1-1.
Okay.
Master arm on it.
1.
Clear
Request
your
rejoin.
firing cone before fire.
Do we have anybody behind us that wants to shoot?
3 is good help. Well, 3 is Master arm on, ready to go.
Don't know if that's true.
Yeah. So we can fire?
Looks like Colt 1 is in the front here, so watch out for firing. Yeah, you're good.
Alright,
Kill him.
Colt 1 will prosecute. Missiles aren't. Oh, fuck. SW cool.
Roger, 2 to your right.
You want to just use your guns?
3 0. Texaco,
No
1-1.
actual ammo.
In field, 5-1.
Correction.
Request rejoin.
Oh,
2 can be shooter. Colt 1, equipment malfunction.
alright, peel off. Let him get a clear
one's
firing
out.
solution there.
Not sure where 2 is. I have 3 can do it.
3 shooter.
Yep, we've got the cursed bird today.
Texaco,
Yeah, it was my fault.
1-1. In field,
just need to get better
5-1.
about
Request
fencing.
rejoin.
To be fair, I think the nav grid thing was my fault as well. We had a weird alignment to start with, so when I put in the nav grid, it's still on that weird alignment.
Magic, Colt 1-3, target is on the way down.
Magic, Colt 3 reports the contact is splashed.
Texaco, 1-1. In field, 5-1. Request rejoin.
Colt, picture's clean. Recommend reset cap.
your flight, Mr.
Colt 3 looks like you're rejoining.
Colt 1, Colt 3, I have got eyes on Ryan and another jet to his right.
Colt 1 is to the right. I'll pop red smoke.
Raj, forming up on Colt 1.
Alright, debrief on 249 decimal.
Alright, Stall. So the way we typically do the debriefs is we'll kick it over to each one of the elements there, provide a debrief back. Things that you did well, things that you think you can work on, things you didn't understand, questions and things like that. So Stall, go ahead and turn over to you as the division lead with the overall debrief, looking for things that weren't clear, things that you can work on, things that you think you did well.
Sure. So I think first, I hate using the term overwhelmed, but it was definitely like I was feeling it a little bit with all the kind of stuff going on. I think we were having some issues with our nav grid. We were able to confirm our INS was okay, but the nav grid, it wasn't quite working out, so we were kind of having to figure it out on the fly. So there was a lot of intercom communication that was going on. And then, once we sort of got onto the bogey, that was sort of a pretty natural thing for us. We were able to listen to Hawaiian kind of tell us what to do and where to be. That was easy enough to identify it. We were kind of playing that one by ear, and our idea was to kind of slide out a little to the right and just eke up to try to respect that blind spot, but also get a good look at the tail. We were able to do that. I was pretty pleased how that came out using some crew coordination. When it actually came time to fire, it was interesting because I have 2 smoke winders and then 2 actual sidewinders, and I worked out beforehand how that would interact, and I was able to actually see that my missiles weren't set up correctly, and so that at that point we peeled off. So that was kind of impromptu, but also a little self-explanatory, like get out of the way, let somebody else shoot. So that was definitely interesting. And then the big thing I noticed that certainly will come with time and practice is I was almost 100% reliant on the Rio to tell me where we were. Like when you said airspace restrictions, like the 2 things that went through my mind were altitude and also Groom Lake. So we were able to quickly determine where we were and so what it wasn't. So that was another thing that was kind of a good teaching moment. And I'll shut up.
Okay. Yeah, I copy the call about the airspace requirements because I had gotten a call that the bogey guy was in a climb, so he was in a pretty steep climb with burners on, so you guys were in trail of him. So that's why I was like, all right, just make sure to be mindful of your airspace, because of some of the scenarios and things that Hawaiian is starting to pull together is going to be all dependent on the airspace and adherence to those airspace restrictions. So that's why I put that out there, because it's very easy to get sucked off and forget about that SA. Okay, Drav, FNA as Colt 2, so any feedback items for you?
I don't even know where he was.
Yeah.
I'm not actually sure where FNA is, actually. I haven't seen him for a while.
I see a notice here, FNA, no, that's a while ago.
FNA may have defected.
Copy, we lost FNA. Alright, Drav.
No, nothing. I think Storr did a good job.
Oh.
We were all a little bit
No, we just go past the
overwhelmed
Rio.
trying to get the
See how
initial
it is.
vector. I think once Storr found him, he actually did a really good join on him from underneath. That was pretty cool. And then everything else went okay. I think it was a little bit Wild West. I didn't really know where to sit once we got behind him in trail, but I think we sorted it out and went left and right. And then the rest, yeah, the rest is standard.
Okay. Alright, so a little bit, so I'll provide some of the feedback that I saw there. I heard comms going on the TAC there. So overall, pretty good essay. You know, I kind of heard Hawaiian kind of pimping you, okay, where's this guy at? And, you know, I'm hearing it on the back radio there, okay, he's about 040 or so. I did hear, I think it was Stahl said, he's probably about 070, so you're off by about 30 degrees or so there on some of the initial comms. But once you kind of got turned around, got straightened out, that got worked out. And typically what always happens is as soon as we go from the bra call to, from the bullseye format to the bra call, everybody gets locked in because everybody's familiar with the bra and you know exactly where you need to point your jet. One thing I will kind of caveat though, and I heard Hawaiian kind of say it on the radio there, is just remember, as an AIC, the comms that I am calling is a snapshot in time. So you have to think forward and project of where this guy's going to be going. So you're not going to get a controller all the time that tells you, hey, you need to flow this way or you need to get a cutoff vector. You need to kind of keep that in the back of your pocket. This is a snapshot in time. Look at historical pattern analysis and determine which way that guy is flowing. And that will help you so that you know which way you need to point your jet and not put it exactly on that bra call. Because if you keep it on that bra call, if you keep that heading on your nose the entire time, you're going to end up getting into a lag chase there, and you're going to end up spending a lot of fuel that you don't want to do and get into this really huge chase down.
That's
so
interesting.
think forward about where that guy's going, get into that lead pursuit so you can actually cut down on the amount of time that intercept is going to take place. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. And actually, since F&A kind of disappeared, it might make sense too to just get Ann Callan's sort of debrief on that too. Do you think?
Absolutely, that's a good point. So Ann Callan, what do you got?
I think kind of a little bit of what Stahl said. Also, my nav grid, we had a bung alignment on the ground, but I had to set my nav grid, fix the alignment, but the nav grid doesn't want to move. So I'm just kind of eyeballing it based on the waypoints here. So that's kind of where that first 30-degree variance came from. But yeah, I'm also, I'll admit, I'm a little bit used to the F-18 avionics and how nice those are when trying to figure out where you are and what's happening.
Yep, I agree with that.
Otherwise, the only thing that I can think of is that the way that we got in behind the backfire there, they have a remote-controlled tail turret, so the way we approach that might be a little dangerous.
Copy. Alright, Hawaiian, what have you got?
I mean, it's all the typical stuff for the first time, so, I mean, it was pretty good in general, but of course it was a giant mess. Break. The only other thing I have is
He's
I think
not wrong.
F&A decided to pull off and practice refueling, and that tanker is roughly the same frequency we're at, so I'm hearing his chatter. So we may want to roll to a freak like 257.2 on the tag.
Alright, no worries, so 257.2 for the tag. Alright, everybody copy 257.2 for the intercom, for the interflight tag.
Colt 1.
Colt 1, 257.2, radio check.
Alright, looks like we're all...
Colt 2, checking in 257.2.
Colt 1, Colt 2, Magic, I got you loud and clear on tag. Alright, Hawaiian, anything else?
No.
Alright, stand by, I'm going to reach out on Discord, I'm going to coordinate with Sensei since he's up here, see if he wants to do some control.
Is that bullseye something or nav grid something we can get squared or no?
Ryan, while Fah's away, can you just explain
Not that I've
a little
been able
bit
to.
about
Sensei, you up?
when does the bullseye change to a bra call?
That change is going to happen about probably 40 nautical miles
What's
out.
going on? It's been a while.
How you doing?
Thanks.
Good. Been a while. No fault of you. It's all my fault.
So
I
between
get
the
busy
commit
here. You been doing all right?
and
Yeah, doing all
when
right
you
here.
actually
Cool.
Get
you want to do
close
some
enough to
control?
see 'em. A ton of stuff
All
is
right.
going to happen.
So do you know the
But all
frequencies
that
we're
is
working
delayed
on?
until the beginning of air-to-air
I can
thread
talk to you on
3,
intercom, I think.
when you have access
Alright.
to your rates.
So yeah, we'll let you and I switch over to intercom 0.
So that's why it seems like not much was going on except the AIC controller just spitting things out every 15 seconds, because later on you're going to have a ton of stuff going.
And is it correct not to reply to the AIC guy who was just on Callan's radio app?
So
Stand by,
the
Sensei.
initial
I got
calls
you
are
loud and clear.
just
I gotta set something up on my side.
advisory calls. Then as you took the commit, you don't necessarily have to acknowledge it, but it's a good idea to acknowledge at least one or two of them, or maybe every other or every third one, just so he's sure that you didn't crash into a mountain or otherwise vanish or have a heart attack.
Yeah.
And he's going to keep spitting out those calls until you have situational awareness. So at this stage and for the rest of thread 2, your situational awareness is when you get eyeballs on the guy. But as I mentioned at the beginning of thread 3, your situational awareness is when you get radar contact on the guy. Then AIC's job is mostly done. He's just monitoring what's happening in case other OP4 aircraft want to join the party. And it's a whole timeline of work for you and your wingman, and we're going to go over that. So at this stage, you're working on the basics, getting your plane pointed in the right direction. I guess before that, it's getting used to bullseye and figuring out where you are, where the contacts that are called out are, and therefore where they are with respect to you, so that you can get your plane pointed in the right direction. Managing, pointing your plane in the right direction and keeping your speed up. At this point in time, you're not operating as a two-ship section, so you don't have to worry about things like tack turns and whatever, but later on you're going to have to worry about. Then as you're eating up the distance between you and the threat group, not much is going to happen, as I mentioned, except you deconflicting with your flight mates, well, really only your one other aircraft. And you'll see when we get to TAC form flying and some other things, there's already a lot to happen there when you aren't experienced, which is why this is all broken apart the way it is. Then, once you're within visual range, at this point in time, because no one's at the two-ship tactics yet, you essentially are just going to break into a bunch of individuals.
Looks like
and get into position
I
for VFA.
have disconnected. I'll be back on in just a moment.
Got it.
Copy.
All right, Fah, you ready to go when Ancoin gets back in?
Yeah, getting Sensei set up so he's got good SAD guys. He's about ready to go. So as soon as Callan gets back in, we'll kick it off.
So another quick question then while we're waiting. I'm on the air-to-ground thread. Do you ever get AIC'd for air-to-ground, or is it more planned?
AIC is airborne or air intercept control, so it's really mostly air-to-air, but they are managing the airspace, so you may check in with them or interact with them, and they can pass you around, or at the very minimum, advise you that you have threat aircraft inbound and to flow some direction, while friendly fighters intercept.
Right, so but they won't say, hey, there's a couple of tanks over here, can you go and kill them? That's not AIC's job.
Correct. You'll have different types of interactions that come later on again in air-to-ground thread 3. You're primarily checking in with something called a joint terminal air controller, a J.
Got it. Because as I understand it, air to ground still does do loiter missions like this, right?
Correct, so we're going to talk all about that in thread 3 and 4.
Okay, yeah, I'm well out of my depth here, but it's a nice feeling.
Alright, stall advise when Anklin's set.
Is Ankalen back up?
Don't think
Almost
so.
there.
Intercom check. I think he's like loading in right now. Stand by.
And for the F-18 guys, make sure your data link is on. At the bottom of your upfront control panel, there's a button called D/L. Give that a firm press, and then give a firm press to the on-off button until it says on your display.
I've got on with a 127.
Affirm, that's all.
Intercom check.
Loud and clear. How may?
Gotcha. Alright, I think we're set.
Alright, and Callan's back on.
Copy.
Yeah, that was my fault. I tried
You're
to
ready for a check-in whenever you're
use Lot ATC to just double check we didn't screw anything up.
Who wants to do?
I'll do the check-in once, but then if Star could take over after that, that would be great. And Magic Colt 1-2 is
Another frequency.
checking in 300 for 35. Magic Colt 1-2 checking in 300 for 36. Angel 18. Weapons guns.
Oh, reciprocal heading.
Alright, so let's clean that up and we'll do it again. Magic, whoever you are, what you are, where you are, and then what you're carrying. And so the where you are includes bulls. If you just spit out numbers, he doesn't know what it is you're talking about.
Loud clear
Got it.
49.1.
And later on, you're going to have more than one bullseye. So you can't just say bulls. You're going to have to actually give the name of the bulls.
And how do we know what bulls it is? This is just bulls today, is it?
Correct. Later on, they'll have names like Vegas or Rock or Dallas or whatever.
And Drab, the other thing I'm going to input here is you gave the call to Bullseye, not from Bullseye.
Yep, I realised that straight after I'd said it.
So if you're in an F-18, on your attack radar screen, assuming you've selected the appropriate coordinates for the Bullseye, bottom center is going to be your coordinates with respect to Bullseye.
Righty ho.
Alright, we'll try it again.
Magic Colt 1-3 is an F-18 holding hands with an F-14. We are 120 from Bulls for 45, Angels 18, checking in.
Colts Magic got you loud and clear radar contact, good alpha check. Magic, picture's clean.
Alright, and Callan, you're going to have to take over for this next intercept. I don't think I can fly and do it at the same time.
Oh, that's why I have a chauffeur.
Exactly.
Alright, in the F-18, make sure your sensor select switch is on the screen that has your situational awareness page, and use your TDC cursor to slew around. In the upper left-hand corner are the Bulls coordinates underneath the cursor. If a call comes out and says something like Bulls 05540, you can move the thing around to get a good idea of where it is with respect to you.
Magic, picture's clean.
Magic Colt, radio check 249.8.
Colt 1, have you loud and clear?
Magic, picture's clean.
Colt 3, Colt 1, to confirm, do you want us to take the lead on the intercept as well, or would you like to take the lead?
Oh no, mate, you're going to have to do the intercept. I'm well out of this.
Got it, roger.
Yep, we're the
Magic,
A-team.
picture's clean.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. I don't want to like leave him out if you wanted to try it.
Like I say, I've only got about 20 hours in the F-18.
Magic, single group, Bull 027 105 9000, track south, bogey.
Alright, so he is kind of well towards the north of where we are.
Basically in front of us, alright?
Yeah. So what I would say is turn back around. Let's get some separation so we don't bust airspace.
Wait, what?
Anyone got an idea on a hit?
He's probably right in front of us. Ancal and I are just working something out. Stand by.
So
Magic,
if
single
you chase him
group,
down,
Bull 027 99 9000, track south, bogey.
So we're basically head to head with the guy right now.
yes.
So why would we turn around?
Airspace.
Which airspace? Sorry, I'm trying
The range.
to... Okay. So just to talk through, we know he's in front of us. We're concerned, considering doing a 360-degree turn due to airspace.
What's the problem with airspace?
Okay.
All right, pushing up to 0.9.
to reply to Magic.
Magic, single group bull 02889 9000 track south bogey.
Alright, do you want to commit?
Yeah, let's commit.
Well, you're out of left orbit, so you should tell them you're committed.
Colt, single group bull 02986 9000 hot bogey.
Colt.
Did you tell him committing? I didn't hear. I assume you did.
Yep, I did.
One, I'm gonna swing out right, if that's cool, just to separate.
1.
Colt, Magic, new controller, stand by.
Mach 0.9 for the close.
Magic's up on 249.5. Correction. Magic's up on 249.8.
Do you think we should stay high and split S in?
Maybe.
Let's
Magic, Colt 1, stay
Yeah,
status
just
single
learn.
group. Colt, Magic, single group, Bulls, 02075 9000 track south bogey. And Magic, say aspect. Colt, Magic, contact is hot.
Alright, 3. We're going to stay high, just to hopefully drop down behind him.
Colt, Magic, single group, bra, 35232, 8000 hot bogey. Colt.
Alright, so he is going to be slightly to our left, yep, and 30 miles out. If only we had Phoenixes. Get those bogeys.
Actually, I'm debating. Let's see. Whatever. Might get in trouble for this, but I'll own it. Actually, Colt 3, since we have some time, we'll go head-to-head at 6,000. You remain at 16,000 and loop around high.
Charge Colt, Magic, update, single group, bra, 35923, 9000 hot bogey. Colt.
3, any reservations?
Nope, sounds good.
But yeah, to explain what it was earlier, I can't see the airspace, and I was thinking that it was a little bit more, I guess, restricted than what it is. But, yeah, like on the F-18, I can get it to actually show me the airspace ranges and everything.
Tally. Call tally.
Magic, Colt 1's tally. Magic.
Two bogeys. 3, be advised, Colt 1, it looks like 2 bogeys.
Magic, Colt 1, we have 2 bogeys here, stand by for VID. Magic. Colt merged.
Let them know they don't appear to be maneuvering or reacting to us currently.
Magic, Colt, contacts are not reacting to us. Colt, Magic, copy. Can you ascertain status of the flight?
Stand by.
Yeah, I always had them on TCS.
Do you even know what these things are?
Three, confirm you're in good position before we pull up beside these guys.
3, I'm just behind you to the left.
Just lock one so we can get on TCS and see. Magic, stand by for VID.
Yeah, I had them on TCS, but we maneuvered out.
Copy, Magic.
They look like SU-27s, but I can't see.
They're on TCS now. Ooh, that is
Call
loaded
that
up.
they're maneuvering. Yeah.
Magic Colt 1, they are maneuvering. They look to be armed with air-to-air missiles. Stand by.
SU-27.
So what is that?
I'm going to go with SU-27.
Contacts seem to be SU-27s.
Colt 3, Colt 1's on left.
NATO name.
bogey.
Colt Magic copy. Can you determine what country they are?
Roger, Colt 3's got the front.
Stand by.
It's a flanker. I'm not sure which country though. 3, follow low bogey. Stay with him.
Magic Colt, they're maneuvering. It's hard to get a lock on their livery.
Magic.
3, advise if you need us to switch bogeys. Three, be advised, 1 is currently on trailing bogey. Magic Colt 1 bogeys are separated.
Yeah, Roger, I'm just to your right and above.
Magic.
This is a really good script. Colt 3 confirmed. You've still got tally on second bogey.
Negative, I'm just behind you. Have you still got tally on the first?
Yes. First is right off my nose, 12 o'clock.
Got him up on
you.
TCS. I can't make out any symbols. I see
Sensei
an
Fah on
X.
Discord.
Go ahead.
Go ahead and make that guy hostile.
Copy.
Colt Magic, contact declared hostile.
Your Rio took a nap.
Confirm.
Colt Magic confirmed. Contact is hostile.
Colt.
Alright. Show him who's boss.
Colt 3, tally on the second one. I'm going for it.
Literally too close for missiles.
And you don't have guns?
Negative.
Okay. Do you have infinite
Colt
ammo?
3, first C-27's down.
Still working on Bandit 1.
Yep, got you, right, coming around 2.
Fox 1. Fox 2. Splash. Alright, 3 form back up. We'll head back to the cap.
Did we get both?
Yeah, 3 is tally on 1.
Colt, Flash 2.
Cool. Magic. Copy. Cold Magic, take station.
Sensei Fah.
Go.
As soon as I get, you know,
On
the
Discord.
HSI's off, right?
Hey, I lost my SRS, so you and I, let's coordinate here
Yeah.
on Discord.
I just got
Copy
the
that.
weirdest feeling of deja vu. This is crazy.
Everyone
We've
can
been here
hear you
before.
on your own channel.
That's fine. Unless everyone just mutes their or turns their headsets off.
Yeah, I think I'm muted, but that's fine if he wants us to deafen Discord.
Yeah, go ahead and deafen your headsets. I lost my SRS.
All right, deafening.
You don't want your own channel?
Say again.
You don't want your own...
All right, and you put waypoint 2 as the top of the cap, correct?
Oh, yeah, no, let me fix that. That's, that got messed up when I was playing with it. I mean, it actually might be. That's not too bad.
Yeah, I've been kind of treating it as such, or at least a good... So this is good. Hey, man, 3, good job.
Thanks, man. I lost him for a while.
Are you rejoined 3? I actually am blind.
You know what?
just
That sure
behind
is
you,
the
so
right.
Catch up. You're cranking it.
The right. I don't know. I guess when I disconnected and came back, it figured it out.
Dropping the speed just a smidge, help you catch up.
Yeah, I'm weak.
Yeah, I'll even out at 0.85 and continue climb to 18,000.
Magic, picture clear.
Let's do a debrief of that last evolution. Alright, stall, you're up.
Sure. So that felt a lot better than the first one. Just kind of just the whole thing had. It was interesting because how they were reacting different. Obviously, we had trouble getting the visual ID. In my head, I was trying. Obviously, well, we don't have radar, so we can't do a radar lock to lock the TCS. So I was trying to think through, how we could work together to identify them, and that's why I wanted to make sure that 3 was in a good position, especially because they appeared to be fighters, and if we're going to go head-to-head, we don't want to get in a bad situation. Also took a little bit of a gamble, so with the sort of tactic going in to where we would meet them head-on at co-altitude and keep 3 high, so hopefully maybe he's just not on their radar, so to speak. And then just from there, once we got the call they were hostile, 3 was able to get rid of his bandit pretty quick. We had to actually, because we didn't load guns, get a little bit of separation to where we could actually use the missiles. So I'll spare you guys the Top Gun line, but we were definitely too close for missiles.
Yep, we're going to have to work on that because we haven't officially done the EOIR, air-to-air missiles. Okay, and
Let's see. So, not a whole lot for me. I was a little bit confused with airspace at first because I've lost the points that I had set up for figuring out how much of the range there was. So that's kind of where that confusion was. I was kind of worried that if we just gunned it for that guy, we would end up going out of the South War airspace. Otherwise, I could actually use the DCS a little bit manually to get a closer view on those guys, which was pretty useful for saying, oh, they are loaded up.
Those sensors are nice. All right, Trav, you're...
Not much for me. I think the separation was cool, but it's actually very hard to see them at the same time, so I actually lost my guy for a minute. Fortunately, just as you declared them hot, I found him again, so that worked out okay, but that was, to be honest, was luck. So without the sensors, if you're spread out, it's actually very difficult to see what the hell's going on.
Yeah, we're going to talk all about that in two-ship tactics.
To be fair, I completely forgot that we didn't have sensors, so I apologize that I did kind of put you in a shit situation. I completely forgot we weren't using radar.
No, it's fine. I thought it was a good idea as well. I think mainly all this session shows is how little I know. But we've had some good luck.
I will say, like, from like a kudos to us kind of thing, like, I was really impressed that we both managed to sort those two targets and we didn't get confused once. That was pretty cool.
That is good. Not being confused is definitely...
Yeah, Hawaiian can tell you all about AIC classes and people getting confused.
No, definitely on the basic side, we found them both times. I think you've done a good job finding them both times. I don't think I could do that, to be honest, yet.
It's weird though. I mean, like, it was, that intercept was like night and day from the first one. The first one was just so like, oh, what's going on, you know? And like this one was just a lot easier. I don't know if that was apparent or not, or the fact that we got kind of lucky that they spawned straight in front of us. But it, for me anyway, like I was able to just absorb more information about what was happening.
All right, you guys ready for the next one?
Yep, one's ready.
All right, after you turn hot, give a check-in to Ned.
Take it. You want me to do it?
Please.
Yep.
Magic, Colt, flight 1 F-14, 1 F-18, checking in, Bulls 12041, 17,000. Colt 1 has 1 AIM-9 remaining, and Colt 3 has guns.
Colt, radar contact, stand by.
Might have been off a little bit on the Bulls, but that's fine.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can you, if you like did a manual waypoint for that, would you be able to like hook it and get that same information or no?
Yeah, that's exactly what I've done.
Ah, okay, I see it.
Star, that's 62 Alpha over to our left there, right? To our 8 o'clock.
Yep.
Wonder what happened with F&A.
I think he got overwhelmed. It was just like, I'm out.
Huh.
Colt Magic pop-up group. Bra. 105, 27, 22,000, flanking south, bogey.
27 nautical miles, that's close.
Alright, he gave us bra too, so, oh, sorry, wrong channel. Call commit, bra, he said 127, correct?
Magic Colt committing.
105 for the bra.
What was the altitude?
22,000.
He didn't give us a direction it was moving either, did he?
It's going south.
Got 1, this is 3. I think I've got them on my situational awareness screen. 2 bogies here.
1.
Heading east now, or sorry, heading south.
Magic Colt 1, I say status pop-up group.
Colt Magic, single group. Bra, 130, 25, 22,000, flanking southwest, bogey.
Cool.
Three, are you hanging in? Is the speed okay?
Yeah, 3's good.
Guess who I got on TCS?
You're amazing.
Yeah, 1. I've got 2 contacts to our 10 o'clock. They're friendly, green, but they're close to our 10 o'clock.
Check altitude, see if it matches up.
Oh, is that actually our guys? Can't tell.
Yeah.
It's been a while since you've heard from Matt.
Yeah, check. We have it on TCS. It almost looks like it is the Hawkeye.
The friendly I've got is the E3, so we're close to him.
That looks like a 747.
And I got 3, yes, I got 3 unidentified targets, 12 o'clock now. 1 12 o'clock right next to the E3, and I've got another 3 to our 8 o'clock.
Alright, so I guess check in with Magic, let them know what we're seeing and see what they say. Maybe they're Nordo.
Colt Magic, contacts maneuvering. Bra, 111, 14, 22,000, flank east, bogey.
Alright, you got that?
Yeah, but I'm not... What does flank east
Contrails,
mean?
maybe.
So they're not hot on us, they're going to either the left or the right of us. So in this case, they're heading towards the west. So their current direction is
contrail
west.
should be rat traffic because it's above us and we're at 27, the bogey's at 22. That's my immediate thought anyway.
Okay, Stal, from what I can see, we've got friendly traffic and then we've got an unknown contact right next to our E3.
Okay.
Magic Colt, say status of pop-up.
Magic, Colt Magic, pop-up group, raw 050, 8 miles, 22,000, track northeast, bogey. Cool. Additional com air.
I believe I have a tally. Yeah, I see 2.
Com air 060, 5 miles, 31,000, track northeast, friendly.
So we've got 2 right ahead.
Magic, Cole has tally.
Magic.
Alright, that contact up in the cons is com air track.
Cold magic merged.
Oh.
Yeah, that's our Hawkeye.
Okay, so do we not have tally?
Yeah, he said merge, so that's...
What do you see, Stal? I'm just following you. I've got no idea.
Magic, Cole's blind.
Cold magic merged.
Yeah, my best guess is it's a them, because I'm trying to get closer, but it looks like an AWACS.
Okay. Is it a hostile AWACS?
That's not for
No?
us to determine. I mean, just say what
But
it
I
is.
mean, like...
Magic, Cole, when we're, seeing a AWACS here.
Copy that. Cold magic. Would that be, me in that aircraft?
That's our conclusion.
It would.
Magic top 1. Magic top 1. Magic, this is top 1.
Top 1 magic.
Magic, this is top 1. Hey, we've got a section of F-14s joined up on us up here. Did you vector them in on us?
Those firm, needed to wake you guys up.
Copy, copy. Maybe I need to recycle my FF, my Parrot India squawks up here.
Magic. Cold magic.
Love it.
Reset cap, bra 27137.
Cool.
Please with 1.
Right, so...
Alright.
We had him from a long time away, didn't we?
So that, as far as like being able to track it and able to implement some of what you had said, I guess really from the first intercept, was to not treat it like a snapshot. It felt like maybe we were leading it better, because when the bra calls came, we were largely on point. You know, obviously, like we start kind of scratching our heads when, you know, at first when you pointed out the contrails, hopefully it was the correct thing to do, but I kind of immediately disregarded it just based on the altitude alone. And then, you know, once we had some issues once we actually joined up with Magic.
Just be aware, if we're going over Bullseye, does that not mean we're going straight over Groom Lake?
Which we're not.
We're heading straight towards Bullseye, aren't we?
Not quite. We're heading in the same direction. That's where the cap is.
Got it.
And so from there, we're able to get. I think actually we had the wrong thing on TCS at first, but once we got close enough, it looked like an AIC.
Oh, he said bullseye 27 something, right? So that's this side.
He gave us bra 27135. He's telling us where the cap pointed.
Yep.
Okay, so one note then is that's not an AWACS. An AWACS is a special term for the E3, so that's a hawk-up.
Right, and I think we actually had the comm traffic locked up first, so it looked like it was an E3.
Alright, and
not a whole lot for me. Thought I had it on the TCS from a good while away, but I think that was a passing 737. But yeah, that's all for me.
okay, Drac.
We came really close to colliding with Hawaiian too.
Oh, I saw. It's like, whoa, where's that come from?
Is Trav still on this?
Colt 3, check in.
Call 3 is just to your right hand side.
Yep, they're talking to you on 249.8.
Call 1. Magic call 1.
Alright, Trav, you got a debrief for...
Oh, yeah. A bit confusing, that one, to be honest. I was seeing some things on my SA indicator that was actually you guys, so it was that. But then I did see suddenly a lot of orange, like, unidentified things on there as well, which is a bit weird.
Just... Alright, so at least some experience with more cluttered contacts, and what you saw was extraordinarily benign.
So here's a question as we're doing the debrief. So I heard comms about it. Hey, it looks like on my TCS and E2, so that information was coming out there. Was that coming out on the control frequency, or was that coming out on TAC?
I believe that was on TAC.
Okay, so was that information ever relayed out on the control frequency?
I don't believe so. But then again, like I guess we kind of got lucky because we were erroneously identifying the wrong aircraft. So we were basically wrong, but it turned out to be right, I guess.
Yeah, and so the only reason I bring that up is because if there's any confusion out there, because you say, hey, it looks like I've got an E2, and I hear and I even heard Drab talking about, I got a green friendly on my SA page, but that information never came out on the control frequency. If there's confusion, come up on the control frequency and ask for that clarification. Hey, Magic, I'm seeing that this is a friendly, possibly E2 there, clarify. So that he can help clarify some of those things out. So as I came up there at the end playing the crew top there, I said, oh, okay, maybe I need to recycle my parrot in Indias. It's happened before. You parrot in Indias IFF, you get your mode 2, mode 4. Sometimes your system will kind of go into, it just kind of malfunctions. You just have to recycle it and get it to come back on. That happens before, so I can't get an IFF on somebody. So all that comms was going on the TAC freak, so it sounded like there was good SA, but it was never correlated or cleared up with any of the AIC controller.
Got it.
And then just to clarify, what were the extra returns coming up on my SA?
The extra contacts, you had 2 comm airs that were kind of merging in right in that same piece of airspace. So you had a friendly there that you were being vectored to, and it just so happened that 2 comm airs were coming into that airspace at the same time. So that even threw more into the confusion as well.
Understood.
Yeah, I don't feel like I would give us the credit of having good SA with that. I think we were just very confused, but maybe with decent instincts there.
Right.
One of
and
you
the purpose
had
of
it
AIC
right.
is
I was
confusing.
listening on the TAC
Calling
frequency,
somebody that's
and I heard
external
one
to
of
your
you say,
aircraft that's got the long range
whoa,
sensors
whoa,
out
whoa.
there, and it
31,000
keeps
You guys are
feet
stepping
back
on each
down
other
to
if you can hear
22.
help that out.
Yeah, go again, someone. I didn't get any of that.
Repeat, you guys were stepping on each other, so we couldn't make out much there.
Yeah, I was just saying, just go back to iterate there. So if you've got confusion, reach outside of your cockpit to external sensors, i.e. Magic, to kind of help clear that picture up, because they are supposed to be managing the airspace, and they are supposed to know where all the blue players are at. So if there's confusion, just ask Magic for clarification on that.
3 turning
Yeah,
a little
that's
early just to get in sync with 1.
Alright, are there any other debrief items?
I have one.
Go ahead.
On the previous evolution, there was someone came back with a radio traffic of confirm. I believe that they meant to say that they are confirming what I told them, but when you ask confirm, it sounds like you want me to confirm what I just said. Who was that said confirm, and did you mean you confirmed what I asked, or you wanted me to repeat it?
So I think that was Stahl, and I think he might have put confirm on this channel and then meant that to be a instruction to me to say, hey, confirm this for me. So that first word got out here.
Okay, copy, thanks.
Can confirm. That's what happened.
Alright, any other debrief points? Alright, if not, let's go ahead and kick it off for one more evolution.
Alright, Stahl, check.
What's our bowls? So I can't see the thing.
Yep, so we are at 10032 18,000.
Magic Colt 1 checking in. Bowls.
Checking on this frequency.
You said 100, right?
100.
Magic Colt 1 checking in. Bulls 100 for 31, 18,000 feet. Flight of 1 by F-14 with 2 IR missiles, 1 F-18 guns.
Colt Magic, radar contact. Colt. Magic, single group, bullseye. 02894, 24,000, track northeast, bogey.
Alright, so that's...
Alright, where's that?
Yeah, that's way up to the north, and it's going to the north.
So we're. It seems like it's north going north, so far in front of us and moving away.
Yeah, and about maybe north or 010.
Alright, so let's stand by 1 second. Colt 3, we're gonna...
Colt Magic, single group, maneuver, bullseye, 031, 101, 24,000 maneuvering bogey.
Okay. Give us a commit to that.
We don't know where it's maneuvering to. You sure you want to commit?
Yeah, because I mean we're gonna have to anyway, right? Or no? I don't. I mean I would say so. But...
We might not need to.
24,000, we probably want to get high.
We haven't committed yet, Drav. 1 second.
Got it.
Should we ask Magic what they want us to do? Because somebody's got to intercept it.
You're the captain. Well,
then
if they're moving away, let's just see if we know where it's maneuvering now.
Magic Colt, say status single group.
Colt, Magic, single group, Bulls, 032, 95, 24,000, track south, bogey.
Yeah, commit.
Magic Colt 1's committing.
Colt.
Three go, spread.
One, this is 3. I've got something on my SA. It's an FAT. It's a CT-31 at 80. Our direction, heading towards us.
What's altitude?
Colt, Magic, single group, bullseye, 035, 91, hot, bogey.
He should be giving us bra calls now, right? Since we've committed.
Once we're within tactical range.
I'm not sure his altitude, man. I don't know this stuff well enough.
All right, then. Yeah, don't worry. We're gotta intercept it anyway. Let's climb up. Follow me in the climb.
And that's heading for us, heading 006, 44 miles.
Are you blind on you?
Colt, Magic, single group, bra, 006, 42, 23,000, hot, bogey.
Alright, Drab, do you want to try a variation of what we did before, where if you stay co-altitude, we'll go high and loop in, or if you're not comfortable with that, that's fine.
So I'll stay current altitude, or I'll go high?
Confirmed, you will stay current altitude, Colt 1 will go high.
Yep, sounds good, let's do it. We can't be sure that what's on my screen is what's actually there.
Right, so for right now, let's just pretend it's not there, and unless you see something that's very definitive.
Colt, Magic, single group, 010, 22, 23,000, hot, bogey.
Colt.
Get an update from them, bro.
Magic Colt, say status single group.
Colt, single group, bra, 0216, hot, bogey, 23,000. Colt merged.
Set him below us.
out of the Rangers.
Ah, shit. That's us.
Yep, that's the thing I was warning us about. Do you see him down below us?
3's coming around onto 1.
Negative.
Alright, he is down low to our 2 o'clock.
Tally ho.
Magic Colt 1 Sally.
3 Bandit is to my, Bogey is on my nose, 12 o'clock.
I've lost tally with 1.
1 heading 220. Current altitude 11,000 descending.
220, 11,000.
Getting glimpses on, looks like, hold on.
Alright, got him on TCS.
Colt, Magic, interrogative. Can you identify the aircraft? It is approaching restricted airspace to your bra 22750.
It looks like an F-18. It's an F-18.
Magic Colt 1 looks like an F-18.
Colt, Magic, can you form up with that and identify?
Magic standby.
Magic Colt 1, target's maneuvering through the mountains. We can't exactly form up, but we should be able to get close enough.
Magic.
One, this is 2, just bearing in mind we are, I think Creech is the other side of that, Groom Lake is the other side of these hills, no?
Well, that's gonna be his problem if he...
Is that aggressor livery?
Yeah. Magic Colt 1, be advised, target is maneuvering, went vertical. Is definitely aware of our presence.
Colt, Magic, copy, continue to monitor and maneuver.
3-1, tally on 1. I see 2 F-18s here, not 1. Oh, 1's Ryan.
Roger, 3, Bogey is diving for the deck. Have him locked, just waiting, I guess, for ID.
Colt 1-1, Magic. Target is confirmed hostile. Stolen aircraft down it.
Colt 1.
Alright, kick Fah's ass. Yeah, can't get him back on TCS here. But yeah.
Magic Colt 1, target is immortal.
Magic.
Should've said Magic Colt 1. There can only be one.
Magic Colt 1 confirmed target is still immortal, but did a great job downing itself. Where are we in relation to Grim Lake? I feel like we need to go back the way we came.
Magic, confirm that target is down.
Alright, I've got us on, we are bearing 200 from Grim Lake.
Reset cap for 170.
Go straight south.
Colt 1.
I love that call at the end. Still immortal.
Yeah, that's funny.
1-3, I've lost you. I'm just overhead the two little lakes west of Groom Lake. I've got Ryan in sight, but not you.
Hey, 3, confirm Ryan is behind you.
99, knock it off, knock it off.
Go 1, knocking off.
3, we are at your 7 o'clock low. We're coming up. We're at 10,000.
Roger, I'm just going to slow down. And we're knocking it off, apparently.
Alright, 99, this is Fah overall. Knock it off, knock it off. AIC's knock it off, fighters knock it off.
Magic, knock it off.
Go 1, knock off.
In the sense of time, so we'll go, you don't have to fly all the way back to Nellis and go ahead and land, so if you want, you can go ahead and get out, log out the server. We'll meet back in Discord for roll call debrief.
Got it. You can go first. I don't want it to be jarring.
No, I go down with the ship. Or we can just land. Like real men.
Yeah, but he's... damn it, why'd you have to say like real men? Because now I want to. I'm not going to be able to pay attention.
You can multitask. Yeah, okay, fair enough. We'll allow it this time.
On 249.8.
Yes, yep, we are.
Yep, go ahead and meet us back in Discord, please.
Will do.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Hold on. My key binding is stuck. Okay, well, so since you guys can still hear me, I don't know why my key tab is stuck, but, so I'm hot mic now. So for that last evolution, go ahead with the debrief there. So from Colt 1, Colt 2's perspective, feedback on that one?
Sure. So, was actually starting to feel really good about being able to intercept. There was some, I don't want to say confusion, but there was some debate in the cockpit between Callan and I about whether or not we should commit, and that was sort of put me in a place of where, well, this is my first one. I know he's been doing this for a while, so I really didn't know. But then also, I guess in the context of training, I figured, well, we kind of have to, because how else are we going to do this? So there was a little bit of that going on to where I don't think I made a decision that would have been indicative of what I would have done otherwise, just because I knew this was a training. And then the second thing where I face palmed myself was when I completely busted through 30,000 feet. And yeah, Ryan had to call it out because I certainly didn't even pay attention to that. So that was my bad. From there,
very easy to lose SA to the airspace.
Yeah. Again, I was trying to, I guess, utilize don't know anything about the two ship, but just trying to use some I guess, basic common sense to try to use what we had. And I know 3 did a great job. But then, once we came by you, I guess busting through the altitude aside, it worked out pretty well because I was able to drop in behind you with plenty of energy and kind of once you started maneuvering was able to utilize that to follow you pretty well. And A+ for the stunt flying there when you mimic the missile hit.
Yeah. So I don't know. At what point did you guys realize that was me?
Honestly, like when we, I'm gonna say as soon as you started maneuvering, not like an AI.
Yeah. Yeah. So go back to the initial thing talking about the commit. So you're talking about whether you should commit or not. So was that based off of that initial call that I was tracking to the northeast?
I'll let Ann Callan speak to that, but I believe so. Because, I mean, I was like, a dog with a bone. I'm like, okay, let's go get it, and he was like, whoa, hold on. So he was definitely putting the brakes on it.
Okay. So real world, you got to take, yes, this is an AIC evolution and all that stuff, but real world, if the guy's just up there capping, you're going to waste a lot of fuel. Commit, okay, reset, commit, reset, commit, reset. And especially if that guy is like 80 plus nautical miles away from you and he's flowing away from you, and you don't want to immediately start taking that commit. Let him start flowing back towards you. Let that pattern of life start building up, and then take that commit. But that's why, it's like, hey, we haven't committed yet. So I turned around and I heated up the intercept to go ahead and speed it up so that you guys would go ahead and take the commit. But yeah, if it's something like that, tracking away from you 90 nautical miles away, yeah, don't take the commit.
Gotcha, and that's definitely my inexperience because like I said, he was the one who like initially was like, whoa, hold your horses. So.
Yep.
And I feel like I could have communicated that with you a little bit better and say, hold on, he's moving away from us. He's way out there. Let's just see.
Yeah, I'm doing good enough at this point just to get like the mental picture of like the literal mental picture of where you are since our nav grid wasn't working. And I noticed like I'm having to ask Ann Callan to repeat things that you said that I know I heard but just didn't sort of internalize because I'm doing that, I guess, mental processing to figure out where the hell you actually are. So
really that's kind of my job. So happy to help.
Yep. Okay. Drap, Colt 2.
Yeah, it was good. I think I actually saw you again on the SA thing. So we knew it well. I don't know the machine well enough yet, but it actually told me it was an F-18 and all of that stuff. So I think we had some idea of what it was. Again, I'm not sure we communicated that well earlier, but there was a lot going on. And then once Stal did a great job finding him, I completely blew through and didn't even see him. So I had to turn around and come back and find you guys. So I'm not sure. Splitting up was a great idea there, but at least someone found him.
Yeah, and so I will take a comment with that one. So I was actually kind of impressed that you guys were able to find me. The reason I say that is because so at about 15 nautical miles out, I was up at about 24,000 feet, and then once I got about 15 nautical miles, I put it into a nosedive straight down, and then Ann Callan just so happened to come up and ask for a status call at that point, and it was kind of funny because Magic gave you a status call at 23,000, but I was on the deck by that point. I was down at 7,000 feet. So I was expecting you guys to kind of start looking around at 23,000 feet and saying, I don't see anything, and to blow through you guys. And I actually turned back and I could see the cons you guys are putting up high, up above me. So I will say I was kind of impressed that even though the call came out that I was at 23,000 feet when I was actually down on the deck, that you were able to pick me out, unless you actually saw me diving for the deck.
No, I'll tell you how that happened. Because I mean, I don't know if Ann Callan saw. I saw you. And here's how. And I credit air to ground, thread 1, and also a really early formation flight I led where we had somebody get lost, and Hawaiian taught us how to sort of find somebody against the sky. So I did look high first, and then thought, well, if this guy's hostile, he's not going to climb. He's going to dive. So then I just started looking low, and I saw you moving against the ground, and just luckily Magic also called merge, so I knew like, all right, if I don't see you out in front of me, and I knew where you weren't basically. Yeah. So then I started turning around because I also knew based on when he called merge that we probably would have blown by each other. So I started turning around, and then I just happened to catch you, and it was actually in a great position to drop in behind you.
Yeah, okay, well, that worked out really well. Good deal. Sensei, what have you got from that evolution?
I had actually just notes on that first thing when they first called them out at 031 for about 101 or so. And I could hear on the TAC channel after a couple minutes, they were like, yeah, he's far to the north and going farther north. So, you know, that was cool. They knew right, or he knew right away where they were. So that was really good. As you said, in fact, you just telling me you were maneuvering, I don't have any information of that. So all I had was those every 10 or 12 second refresh the scope. So when they asked me, gave you the altitude, you were still up there as far as radar knew. So
Yep. And that happens real world. It does.
Yeah. Because that's a long time for a refresh. You know, 8 seconds, a fighter can change altitude really drastic.
Well, yeah, I dropped within a matter of about 10 seconds from about 24,000 feet down to about 7,000.
Other than that, they got pretty much right to it. I have to apologize. My push to talk for SRS when I controls my space bar, and it has been, but now seems to change it from my track or my lot ATC to true to magnetic to true/magnetic. So sometimes I'd give you a bra line and it would be 031, and a second later it would change to 020, and I'm like, what the hell? So I know that I gave you guys both sets of bras at some point, a true and a magnetic, and you still managed to do it. So kudos to you.
I did have a question I'm going to ask before I forget. Toward the end of that intercept where we were kind of like chasing you through the mountains, 3 called out, you know, hey, like, be careful, it's Groom Lake. And I think I even said it on one channel, but like my immediate thought was, well, okay, fine. If he goes into that airspace, the SAMs will do my job for me. And so I was really kind of disregarding that in terms of like, I guess, changing anything else other than being aware. Is that right? Or how would that factor into something like that?
So a lot of that stuff will start to tie into the ROE. What's the ROE say? Are you allowed to pursue anybody back across? Let's assume that's an international border or that's a country's border. You know, if somebody's already displayed hostile intent and they've been declared hostile, does that mean that you have authorization to trespass into their international airspace and chase them down? That's all going to depend on the ROE. So, you know, in this situation, yeah, if I'd have gone to Groom Lake, they would have shot me because they would have seen me as a friendly. And for your perspective, what you would have done is just backed off. All right, he's going into restricted airspace. You know, I can't go in there because you don't have that ROE to do that.
And following on from that, should I be saying things like that?
Absolutely. So it's a coordinated effort between everybody that's flying, between the Hawkeye or the AWACS, the AIC, to watch for the airspace. Because you see there, you know, Stahl, you mentioned it earlier, during that first part of that evolution, you completely lost the SA. So you busted the upper altitude there past 30,000 feet. So if anybody sees you doing that stuff, absolutely call it out on the radio. Again, I go back and take that into a real world situation. If you lose that SA and somebody doesn't tell you about that, it's very easy to cross over those airspace lines, and now next thing you've got an incident, a international incident going on because nobody came up on the radio and told you that. So if you've got the SA in the aircraft and nobody's putting it out, absolutely put it out there.
And that's kind of what your wingman's for, right?
Well, your wingman, that's what your AIC's for. That's what everybody's there for, is to kind of watch out for everybody. What else?
No other questions from me though. Thank you. That was really fun.
Yeah. So, you know, these is you know, doing these AIC events get a little bit more fun for me, and I'd like to think so for Sensei and Callan when you guys are doing the AICs, because, you know, it gets a little bit boring than sitting there just looking at static displays and doing those things. So as we get live players to come back into here, now we can start to create more dynamic air pictures. You know, tonight they were relatively benign. You know, it's just a single group other than that last one with the highly aggressive maneuvering guy. You did see some maneuvering, but from an AI perspective. But as you get more comfortable with this, more tuned to it, and you get better coordinated as yourselves between a section and a division, now we can start to bring in 2 groups and 3 groups, because now that's where you get into what we were talking about earlier is how are you going to use your division to target multiple factor groups that are out there. Do you keep yourselves together as a division? Do you split them up? Those are all things that come into play. Other things that have to be talked about is radar discipline, and those are things that'll be talked about in some of the follow-on more advanced classes. Who's looking high, who's looking low, and things like that. So if we get the good cadre of people that enjoy doing this, it makes it a lot more fun from an AIC perspective.
Yeah, I can't wait to do all that stuff you thought we knew how to do at first.
Yeah, that was really good fun. I've got some work to do. I need to get better in my career jet. I know the C101, and that's it. So I need to learn the F-18 much better. But that's cool, and I need a bunch of practice with like bra calls, bulls calls, things like that. That needs to become second nature, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And for myself, I've got to get better in the F-14 Rio seat. And I just got to take the time to get on here and fly and get better at it. Because, if you get, with Ann Callan doing the work that he's doing with the Rio stuff, then, you get somebody else, if I get in there in another jet and doing the Rio stuff, you can pretty much between the two, you can almost kind of do AICs with counter-rotating caps of F-14s, as long as you got radars pointing downrange. And you can also start to do C2 with the two guys maintaining SA. So yeah, I want to get better at this myself, not from an AIC perspective, but from just the platform perspective, from the back seat of the 14.
Cool stuff.
Quick
Let's
question.
do it again.
Yep. Any other comments?
Which is a counter opposing and which is a counter rotating cap?
I'm sorry, say that again, Ann Callan?
So I know there's like two different terms, and I can't remember which one is which. So a counter rotating and a counter opposing.
Yeah, I don't know that one. That I don't know. Counter rotating is I'm probably not using the term right. I'm thinking of, when I say counter rotating, I'm simply, what I am meaning is, so for example, if you've got two F-14s that are trying to do AICs, you got one guy that's always got their nose pointed hot downrange, and then you counter rotate such that as that guy is flowing off cold, your next F-14 is flowing in hot, so that you keep that constant radar. That's what I'm referencing when I say a counter-rotating cap, is you got it set up so that as one is turning out cold, the other guy's turning in hot.
Right. Okay. I can't remember where I heard this one from. So I know one is, and I think that's right. I think you've got that right. So I'm not saying, hey, Fah, you've got this wrong.
I'm not infallible. It's, I got to admit, it's been a while since I've done this. I've retired several years now, and so it's easy for me to forget things. And plus, things change as things change. So the things that we talk about in the AICs are based on my knowledge as of 10 years ago, 5-10 years ago. So it changes.
Yeah, I'll see if I can't find it again. I think it was like counter-rotating is that, and counter-opposing is where you have two caps that are doing the same thing, where one cap is facing one direction and the other is.
It could be. I don't know. I'll have to dig into some documents and see if I can find that.
Yeah, I think that was on the Fighter Pilot podcast. I recall hearing it recently, so it might have been like I just rewatched the F-14 episode, and then there's like an actual AIC episode, but I feel like it was maybe the F-14 one.
Yeah.
This is the first session today where I've realized that if you were really good at this, and whoever you're playing is not very good at this, you are going to fucking wipe the floor with them.
That's like Hawaiian Ryan's whole thesis for joining SATAL. He's like, you will dominate.
Yeah, because I watched some videos of this the other day. I watched some AIC, like an RAF AIC guy, attempting to control what is supposedly a super professional DCS community, and they all had, it was a complete disaster. They couldn't find the tanker, and they couldn't find anything else. And they were trying to find 3 MiG-29s. The MiG-29 shot all of them down, etc., etc. So, yeah. If you were good at this, I imagine this is going to make a huge difference.
Yeah.
Quick question, going back just a little bit to the VID stuff, where like one of the more obvious ones, like the Russian bomber is like, okay, I know what that is, like immediately. But there were certain instances where we could get the airframe, but nothing else. Is there? And I meant to ask this, but I kept forgetting. Like, is there like sort of a decision process to where like one option I thought of was, okay, I can make sure 3's in position to essentially stay in that blind spot like Hawaiian told us doing the first time, and like maybe I blow by him so I can actually see. But there was instances where like there would just be no way for me to get anything other than the, you know, what it is. Is that sort of a good enough? Is that where you work with magic to find out if it's good enough, or, you know, at what risk do you take to get that sort of, I guess, secondary ID that would require the bandit either to be still or us to be a lot closer?
Yeah, you know, so that it's easy to get a VID on something that's straight and level and is cooperative, right? You just come up, snuggle up on them, and get a good look. If what you've seen tonight, that's not going to happen, you know, you try to get the best that you can. Hey, you know, this is what the guy looks like. You know, the type of fuselage. If you get any fin flashes, any markings, things like that, you pass that up to Magic. Also, let him know, hey, this guy's demonstrating, you know, hostile acts. He's diving for the deck. You know, and you may not be able to get exactly, hey, if it's air to ground or air to surface, but you might be able to say, hey, all right, he's got something on the wings. You know, so you can pass those types of information up, and all that stuff's going to go on the decision. Okay, what is this guy demonstrating? All right, does that now meet hostile act and things like that? But what I would not recommend doing is blowing past him in an attempt to get a ID, because what you've done is now you've put yourself in the vulnerable position, and you are now he's on now your 6 o'clock, and now he's in an ideal position. So if he wasn't going to do anything, or if he was, you just set him up perfectly to take a shot on you.
Yeah, and that's where the Hawaiian Ryan life lessons of, is this something an idiot would do, you know, kind of kicked in.
Yeah.
I didn't do that, but I definitely, it was a thought, because it's like the only way I could see this is if I get where he could see me, or potentially give him my 6.
Yeah.
And Stahl and I have actually been working on a scenario where we have a bunch of backfires coming in that we've been kind of figuring out how best to approach this. And yeah, we were finding they would, you know, if they blew past us, that was kind of it. They could just keep going, and we would just not be able to do anything about it.
Yep.
So we're going to talk about all that in 2-ship tactics. How do you approach something while one guy is holding back and another guy needs to actually look at what's going on?
Cool.
You guys got any more questions for me? I hate to duck out, but I need to give my daughter a call. She's out of town, and so she's wanting to talk to me before she goes to bed. So you guys got any last minute questions for me?
I'm good.
All good, not for me.
All right.
No,
Thanks
so
for the session, Fah.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you very much.
do
Thanks.
this. You know, I know I've been kind of, you know, for Ancal and Sensei, a little bit spotty on the Tuesday, Thursday evening sessions. But between work and a lot of things that are going on, it's no excuse. But these are a lot more fun now that you get a human interaction in here. You get human players. So if you guys want, you know, we can, you know, I'll try to set a standard schedule here as best as I can, Tuesday and Thursday evenings at about this time, if you guys want to keep pressing forward with some of this.
I'm game.
Sounds
Yeah,
good. I'm game. Yep.
Okay. All right. I'll work with Hawaiian on that stuff because then, you know, get the calendars and things updated on some of those things. All right. No